I briefly talked about today. It was a video. I don't know if I uploaded to YouTube. I just deleted like 13 videos. This is the second day I deleted 13 videos. And I'll be honest, I like 13 should be a lucky number, but some coaches it was actually luck. I don't know. It's odd. It's the numerology. Anyway, it's about Elon Musk, and there's a proposition to like get in the next 50 years he'll have at least 1 million people living on Mars. As a colony. I think maybe like even 5 million actually. I don't know, but he has that. He has that plan. He has that vision. The whole thing is, why would you want to live on Mars? It's a red planet. I talked about it a long time ago, but it's on YouTube, and I guess not too many people reached out to it, and I get it. Thing is, the red planet Mars is red. Like, first of all, if you build an atmosphere, it will reflect the ground, the sand. It's not even soil. It's like it's sand. It's red sand. It's red clay actually. So it'd be red atmosphere. And I don't think you have an atmosphere nonetheless. It's really hot over there. It has hot temperatures. Let's just say you don't have atmosphere. You walk in a suit. You do things in a suit. You live in like clay huts. There was one proposition they had. They'll build like a cheap infrastructure, like little. And there was one proposition. It was like beehives or something like that. You live in and maybe have little windows, and it's just it's like why would you want to live in that? Also, another thing is will he really get 1 million, 5 million people in the next 50 years? And it's like, get it, you gotta have a colony on there for survival of human species, but it's also like, if you think about it, the way AI is going, artificial intelligence, robots and all that, why would you need humans in the first place? This is another thing I understand. Let's concentrate on this planet Earth. AI, artificial intelligence, right now is they're talking about it's like they'll have maids, actually robots. I mean, who could afford to have a maid robot to do like your laundry or pick up groceries or do all those things? My thing is it's getting to the point where it's not that you can't even afford a landscaper. It's like you have a robot, and there's machines actually that just cut your grass nonetheless, and I don't think that efficient. There's solar power, and you just go back and forth like a pool cleaner. You don't need me over here to come or the landscaper I work with. You'll spend $35, $50 an hour, $35, $50 for like an average yard in New Jersey where I live, in suburbs or like a city suburbs. But it's also like you have a robot that does that. Well, all you have to do is maintain it. Also, you need a robot. You get another robot that maintains that robot. You need a human being anymore. So the workplace, and not just America, in the States, as I say, will be just diminished. It's automation, what they called it. Trucks, and they have trucks, self-driving trucks. They're great at long distance right now. They have some on the road, but they just they can't figure. They still have to work on how not just change lanes, but the simple things like get in city traffic and stuff like that. And they're already planning having satellites. GPS connected with satellite, so the truck senses and you see satellite around the corner. A human being can never do that unless you have a camera. Have a camera and you see a camera what's around the corner. But also, why would you pay a human being and frustrate him like that? You got a self-driving truck, and it's like the truck is not getting frustrated. All it needs to is recharge and just drive. It really is about not just the rich getting richer, but that's just putting it in layman terms, simple terms. But it's really about the common laborer, the person that stitches or something like that. Maybe we will need it as well. The landscaper. If you think about even construction workers. I mean, why we need human beings to build buildings when you have machines putting a building, a skyscraper or a small building together? I mean, in 20, 30 years, you won't need the muscle and the physicality of us beings. That's the most important part. So think about Mars. If that's the place where we have to go to, well, I wouldn't go there. I'm not gonna go, but that's the place we go to for what? And also, how would you need that? You can have machines over there. And Elon Musk talked about the first maybe 1 or 2 colonies, they won't survive. Who knows how it'll be like? How they'll I don't know what circumstances they won't probably survive. It's really not about just Elon Musk and his great adventure in Mars. There's probably other planets out there, but who knows? Maybe 20, 30 years we'll figure out how to get there and stuff like that. The Earth's survival if you think about it, just a lot of people, they don't really care about the person that works for a living. Whereas it's even administrative work, if you think about it, clerical or something like that, you could just get AI just to figure it all out. It could be anything. And let's just say you have a business, you buy like 2, 3, 4 AI robots, or even 5. I mean, all you gotta do is maintain them. They don't need money, unless and it's another scary part that I have that issue with AI. I don't want into that because it creeped me out in the first place. Not just this, I didn't even think about this till like a year or 2 years ago they started talking about. 4 years ago with the automation. It's also like what if the AI gets intelligent or smart enough? What if they actually program consciousness? Well, I'm a sentient being too. I'm a robot. I deserve my feelings. I don't want to do this or something like that. I'm not gonna get into that. Gone are the days we're gonna talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump and inflation and Bernie Sanders and minimum wage $15 an hour. Like, that's out the window. We surpassed something that's getting to the point where yeah, listen, man, even if we give you $10 an hour, you can't produce like a sentient robot that just doesn't rely on pay. And that robot could work for like, I don't know, whatever hours, 12 hours, get a charge, like electric charge or whatever, or maybe just sustain and just go work and work and work. There's food industries in China that have like I don't know if it's a McDonald's or something. There's machines and robots doing that. They don't need humans. And it's a scary, frightening thought. It's a scary, frightening thought. And yeah, Jeff Bezos has actually like robots. And it's a couple of warehouses. They're on the ground. They're actually just robots. They're not AI. But I don't know if they learn from their mistakes. And if they do, they pick up, oh, the robot learns I shouldn't do this. That's AI, artificial intelligence, by definition. By definition, I guess. But it's also, they don't need humans to go from side to side, from aisle to aisle. There's a loading dock. I saw this like 5, 6 years ago. It's a loading dock. It's a machine. And it goes in a trailer and it just unloads and puts pallet. And you don't need even guys on a forklift to do that. Those jobs will probably, I don't know, depends how fast it grows. But let's say you have a company, like a trucking company. I work for warehouses that have trucking companies. You don't need like 10, 12, 15 guys anymore. You have 4 or 5 machines. It'll cost you a lot of money, but it's an investment. And now all of a sudden, there's no human mistakes. AI will fix its own problems and will never get it wrong, presumably. It's just, we're being pushed away. My main thing, what scared me was that artificial intelligence will have a consciousness. Well, I mean, will be conscious of itself. And, you can talk about, the Terminator movies. Even Matrix. I mean, it's sci-fi, but it's a reality, Before that, it was sci-fi and reality. That's why, AI creeped me out. I was never into that. I respect a machine that's just sentient being, maybe to learn. But it's like, if you can think about it, you're creating more machines, and now you're taking away jobs, and we're talking about food scarcity and all of that. And gone are the days where I grew up in the 90s, and we read Animal Farm was the first book I read. It was George Orwell, and it dealt with it was against the communism. But I read it and I equated to I believe I know I'm an open-minded person. I equate to the healthcare system and the police system, criminal system, not so much criminal system, policing system, but mostly the healthcare system, because there was one person that wanted to be a doctor, this and the other, and back then it was like, oh, it was like $1,000 for close to $1,000 for one stay at the hospital, this and the other thing. And I went to a Catholic school. Of course, she was a hospital, but it's also like we spent all this money on. It was also pills or something like that. My mother was diagnosed as diabetic, and I'm not good terms with my mother, but she didn't take care of myself, and now she spends all this money on these medications, this and the other thing. And the book was about like how we were in the system, we fight against it, and then we just become culprits, or we fall in the system. And then there was the book 1984 that was it was about the government, or just Big Brother, and also A Brave New World, which was about chemicals like pollution, like things I remember, Respiridone, Risperidone, Zyprexa. There's also Depakote, mood stabilizers. Those are pharmaceutical companies. You know, they make a lot of money, and they also, you know, suppress your being. You know, they fight you with that, and you know, you have to be that. You're bipolar disorder, just a minute, you know, oxycodone, painkillers. You know, they make a lot of money. They get you addicted. Also, you know, they suppress your mentality. You know, those are books that was written in like what, 50s and 60s mostly, 60s and 70s. And you know, then all of a sudden, like, you know, the movie The Matrix trilogy came out, and you know, and it just, you know, and even before the Terminator. I mean, Terminator was just an action film and stuff like that. But the Matrix came out, and it just, you know, it's a reality. It's a reality. Like the machines, the robots, the sentient beings, you know. I mean, I'm not saying there's going to be war, the humans and beings. Maybe just human beings, you know, they just push the other human beings around.